record on this? That would have been terrible, you guys. Okay, so when I first got started in this business, Katie and I were on three-way calls like all the time because I didn't feel comfortable talking about the business and I didn't know exactly what I was supposed to talk about or ask or whatever. And so I started learning from her. I had been on a couple of calls with Sarah, and I just always kept hearing the same exact questions that were being asked. And so I kind of wrote down just some things for you guys to know, for you guys to write down and be able to ask these people how you can help them. Now, every conversation is going to be different. It's not all going to go the same way. It's not all, I can't promise that they're not going to be awkward. There's going to be conversations that you're going to be like, I don't even know how to save this conversation right now. Or there might be somebody who you're going to get on the phone and it just goes so well that you just like, you're like, man, they would be so crazy not to join. Like, we had like awesome conversation, all the stuff. But there are going to be times where you're going to question, what did I just do? Or what did I just say? Or did I just talk so much? But as long as you're asking and you're talking to them about what they need, that is the most important thing that you guys need to know. So, all right, does everybody have something to write on? So I'm going to record this and I'm going to put it onto my YouTube so that you guys can watch this again if you guys need to. So what I always do when I get somebody on the phone, so we'll get on the phone and I probably don't know them very well. Like at this point, they're all on social media now. When I started my business, it was all blitzing. Now it's all social media. So I might not know them at all or even like a little bit. So what I do is I get them on the phone and I ask them questions. I find out about them. I always say, tell me a little bit about you. And I want to know if they have kids. I want to know what their lifestyle is. What do they do for work? Are they full-time? Are they part-time? What do they do on the weekends? Are they normally working on the weekdays or the weekends? Because when you know that stuff, you're going to be able to teach them how to get onto like calls like this. You're going to be able to get them the information that they need for different events that we have going on. And so you just need to know that stuff because if they're going to be your new distributor, you need to know how to help them. And so I just ask them, what is your lifestyle? What do you like to do? You know, what do your kids and you like to do? And so they'll tell me, you know, I work part-time or I work full-time. I have a couple of kids. I'm writing down notes when I'm talking to them. I'm writing down notes because I want to remember that towards the end of our conversation, when I'm telling them about how that they can make this business work, I'm telling them, well, you've got kids, you know, you've got the 2 kids or you've got, you know, you have a busy life. Like you can be able to, you know, be talking to people about this business as you're going through your day or through your errands. But I have to know that those things about them. So I will even ask them stuff like, are you on social media? Like, you know, I need to know if they're like on Facebook, because when I first started, I wasn't on social media. I wasn't on Facebook at all. Well, kind of. I was really just there to complain. I was that girl. And so, yeah, I really was. I was like, I just went on to complain. So a lot of people probably didn't want to follow me. So I had to build that rapport. So I want to know that stuff. And so the first thing is I find out about them. Find out all the things that I need to know about them. Second, I need to know what interests them. What interests you in this business? That is what I ask. I say, you know, tell me a little bit of what interests you in the business. What caught your eye, you know, of this business? Or maybe they liked one of my posts or commented on one of my posts. And I say, you know, what made, you know, I know that you commented on my one status or liked my one status. What caught your eye about that? And they'll tell you exactly what interests them. They'll say, you know, I just saw that you have, you know, a lot more freedom and you're able to quit the service industry. And so that I know that they're in the service industry and we can connect on that level. And we can, you know, be able to talk about those struggles of being in the service industry or whatever. Just being able to like relate to them is so important. So I ask them, you know, what interests them. Most of the time they'll say, obviously money. You know, I see that, you know, you can make money with this business, or they might say something like, you're having a lot of fun. You know, I really, you know, would love to have that in my life, or, you know, you're around a lot of people, you know, you have met a lot of people in this business and I would love that. Or they might even say something like, you're getting really healthy. So they might give you like a couple of different reasons. And with those, you can actually talk about how this business is going to be able to help them with that reason. If they say, oh my gosh, Kyle, you are just having so much fun. I saw you in Florida and it was just so much fun. And then Kyle's going to be like, it was so much fun. Like literally with this business, like I haven't had that support that I've ever had in my life. And the fact that we can go down to Florida together and hang out with our friends and be with everybody and get tips and everything about this business is so awesome. And they're like, yeah, like really talking to them about what interests them in this business. So I write that down usually. I will write down their lifestyle, about them, and what interests them in the business. The third thing that I do is I ask them, do you know what products we offer? Do you know anything about It Works? Sometimes they have no idea about It Works. They just see some of my posts and they like it, you know, and I will message them and I'll say, hey, you know, I'd love to tell you about what I do. Are you interested in making some extra income from home? And so they might not have any idea about what I do. And so I give them just a rundown of the different lines that we have. Not long at all. I give them a couple of examples. I'll say, well, we're a debt-free company. We have a couple of product lines. First and foremost, we have our wrap. You probably have heard about the crazy wrap thing, right? And they'll say either yes or no or whatever. I'm like, that is our product. That is a product that you're never going to get anywhere. You're always, you know, the great opportunity with this business is people have to come to you in order to get this wrap. And then I'll say, you know, and then we came out with our skincare. So we've got like hair, skin, and nails and facials, and wow, it wipes out wrinkles in 45 seconds. And then I go to another line. You know, we have our lifestyle line. And so I'm just very short talking about some of their products, especially the favorite products. ThermoFit, Fat Fighters, wraps, hair, skin, and nails, all that stuff. And so, but, you know, talking about the wrap and how that you guys are the only ones that have this. People have to come to you. They have to find you in order to get these wraps. Is really important, because when somebody hears that, they think, oh, like these people will have to come to me too if I decide to do this. So I talk about that, and then I ask them if they have any questions about the product. They'll usually know, but then I'll keep moving. And then fourth, I will say, so let's talk a little bit about, you know, the business side. How much income are you kind of looking for? You know, obviously we're talking about the business, so you want to make some money, and I kind of make like a little joke about it. And then I will, you know, just ask them like, how much could help you? And then I say something about me. I say, you know, when I first started this business, I looked at an extra $300 and I said, oh my gosh, like that could like give me a little bit more freedom where I could go back home and see my family. And so it kind of like would get their like wheels turning, and so they'll tell, you know, 500 would be amazing, or whatever they might say. And then I will be like, okay, like $500. And I'll ask them, what could it help you with? And when you ask them that, they'll be like, you know, say something about their bills or whatever, but you can start, you know, digging down deep with them and ask them, you know, if you were able to pay $500 for your student loans, what do you think you guys could do? Like, would you go on vacation, or like, what would you do? And then they start thinking like, oh, well, I could start saving up or whatever. And then maybe you can talk about that, where a lot of people don't have money to save up. And you can be like, yeah, like, you know, that would be so amazing if you could, or whatever. Is this all making sense? Shake your head. Okay. So digging down deep with them and asking and talking to them about what they would like to do if they were able to pay off, you know, that first goal of 300, 500, or whatever the goal is. There's nothing wrong with digging down deep with them and asking them about more of their goals. Like, what would you do? Where are you going on vacation? Are you going with your family, or are you just going by yourself? Like, you know, like, are you, you know, going to a beach vacation, or are you going to a mountain? Like, what do you want to do? And so that instead of just talking about $500, there's no emotional connection to it. And so that's what I usually do. I just start talking about what they could do if they started making that extra income. And then I talk about how when I first got started, I always talk about when I first got started, because I'm relating with them, because they're just getting started. They're not here now 3.5 years later in this business. I'm relating how I got started. And so I would say, you know, when I first got started in this business, you know, and that extra $500, man, if I could just pay that $500, I could just take off more time at work. And so they're able to relate to me a little bit more. You can ask them, how would it make them feel if they could? Feeling like they could say, I would be so happy. I would feel so amazing if I could take my kids to Disney. Like, you know, talking about that. So fourth, then I started talking about the steps to success. I said, all right, well, you know what, let's talk about the ins and the outs about this business. And I just say, you know, we have 3 steps. That's all we do. That's all we follow every single month. And if you can do these 3 steps every single month, you can unlock every single penny out of this compensation plan. I can promise you that. And because, you know, what I think about it is, just because I didn't go Ruby in 2 months doesn't mean that they can't. I didn't go Diamond in 3 months. That doesn't mean that they can't. And so I know that they could possibly do that. They could come in this business, go Diamond in 3 months, and gather that $10,000 bonus. And so when I start talking about it, I'll just, you know, start talking about the steps to success. All right, getting started is $99 to get your kit ordered. I don't usually say sign up anymore, because I just feel like people get so scared about that. And so I actually just say, as soon, you know, when we get your kit ordered, it's $99. You get 4 wraps. You can sell them each for $25. And the beauty of this business is that you're able to make your money right back. And so I talk about that, and then I go we've already talked about the products, okay? But I'm going into step 2, and I'm saying, so step 2 is where you're going to find 4 people who want to try any of these products. You know, when all the products that we went over, you probably could think of at least 4 people who would want, you know, I give them examples: less stress, longer hair, you know, tightening and toning any part of the body, you know, better skin, better health overall. And they're like, yeah. And, you know, asking them, you know, you probably know, right? And they're like, yeah, I do. And you're like, great, you know, that's all you have to do, you know, find 4 people each month. You know, it's so great because you can do it by so many ways. Social media, be talking to people out and about, you know, talk to people you already know. And then I talk about step 3. And then I say, you probably know, step 3 is you probably know 3 people who want to get started or that want to make some extra income, right? Any kind of income. And they're like, probably. And I'm like, okay, you probably know. And I give them examples. You probably know somebody who has student loans. You probably know somebody who has credit card, or they just had a baby and they want to stay at home. Or maybe even just like you're getting started because you want to, have some more friends. Do you think that you know some people who would want to do the same thing? And they're like, yeah. So then at that point, I will say, you know what? I'm like, there's no reason why you can't make an extra $500 if that was your goal. Because I wrote it down. There's no reason why you could not make an extra $500 with this business. Through social media, you're already busy. And so I'm putting it back to I'm putting it right back to who they are and what their lifestyle is. I'm like, you're already so busy. You've got like 10 kids. You got like 10 kids. You could totally you're out and about all the time. You're meeting doctors. You're going on play dates. You're doing all these things. You could talk to so many new people. And they're like, yeah. Thinking of things to help them with. Thinking of ways that they can reach out to people. And they're like, yeah, that sounds so great. And so that's number 5. And then while I'm going over, the different ways, after I talk about the steps to success, I'm like, there are a couple of ways that you can make some extra income. And I'll say, with Wrap Cash, you make $25 per wrap. I'm sure that diapers could help you with that $25, or putting, gas in the tank for $25. That $25 is so amazing. And they're like, okay. And then commissions, I'll say, I'm basically talking to them about the steps to success, as in, when you're getting Wrap Cash, that's usually step 2, because most people want to try the product. But then they want to get started with something else that we offer, another product. So they're going to sign up as your loyal customer. And then that's going to start helping with your commissions, which is step 2. And then I go to step 3 and I say, step 3, that is where you're going to start making weekly bonuses. When you help a new distributor get started, you'll actually help them find their first 2 customers and get a $100 bonus. How awesome is that? I always ask them, how awesome is that? And they're like, yeah, that is so great. I'm like, so with all of these ways that you can make extra income, there is no way that you cannot make an extra $500 or whatever their goal is. And then I just ask them, do you have any other questions? That's basically all I needed to do, is talk to them about that. And then on number 8 is, on a scale of 1 to 10, and I always do this because I want to make sure that, I know if there's any other information that I can send to you, but on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you're ready to get signed up with me today, where do you think that you are? And they'll be like, I'm at an 8, okay? And if they're at an 8, that means that I need to send them something. I'm like, okay, what other questions do you have? And they might say something like, well, I just don't know how you get paid. And you could send them, the compensation plan if that's what they want to look at, or something else. And so that scale of 1 to 10 is so important because it gauges how ready they are. If they say 10, I assume they're ready to get started today, because that's what I said. I said on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not interested and 10 being you're ready to get signed up today, where do you think you are? And if they say 10, I'm like, all right, let's get you signed up. Let's get you ready. I just need some information from you. No hesitation, all confidence. You're ready to help them. And so that's the guideline that I usually do. I mean, obviously every conversation is going to be different. Like I said in the beginning, it's going to be some awkward times. It's going to be some real awkward times. You're going to be like, I just don't know how to save this. I'm like, okay, well, if you have any more questions. But my biggest tip for you guys is take off the pressure of yourself, okay? I'm not perfect at this. This is just what I do. This is just what I follow. I make sure I know who they are, what their lifestyle is. I make sure I know how much income that they need, because that's their first goal. And then I refer it to our income chart. I literally just did this, like the slant of like the, anyways. But yeah, every conversation is gonna be a little bit different. Sometimes you might say things too much. Sometimes you might say something too little. But just know that every time that you talk to somebody about this business, it does get easier. It gets easier and easier. It might be awkward at first, but like I was telling Cecilia, I don't think that she's on here, but you know, she was like, I get a little bit nervous when I start talking to people about the business. And I said, why? I was like, you know what? I was like, the reason why you get nervous is because you're not doing it enough. You're not asking enough. It's the same thing with blitzing. It's the same thing with blitzing. If you're not doing blitzing, you're not getting used to it. You're always going to be, you know, uncomfortable with it. So when you keep doing it and keep doing it, it's not a big deal anymore. Same thing with this. Every time that you talk about the loyal customer program, you get better and better and better. So just, there's going to be conversations that you guys just didn't think that went well. But what you need to do is know that that's not your last time that you're going to talk to them. So you have to take off that pressure off yourself, because just because one conversation didn't go as well doesn't mean that you can't follow up with them later and be like, you know what, let's get back on the phone. I just know that you still would be so amazing at this. And do it again. There's no reason why you can't do that. Darrell, how far into the conversation building do you ask for their number? I'm going to unmute you so that or unmute yourself. What do you mean by that? Like when?
So, I mean, basically, if you just kind of reach out to them and say, hey, I really thought of you, and I wanted to know if you would be interested in making some extra money. And they say, sure, what do I have to do? And right then and there, do you say, can I have your number? Or do you keep talking a little bit? Like how far into?
Oh, well, okay. So right now mine's a little bit different now because I made a video. If you guys have not seen my video yet of the business, you need to watch it and then do one yourself. But what I usually do is now I literally will ask them, are you interested? And they say yes. And I'm like, I have a video about me, who I am, and what this business has done for me, and has a little bit of information in there about how to get started. Do you want me to send it to you? Would you like to watch it? And they say yes, I send it to them, and then we usually go from there. But if you don't have a video, yes, just get their phone number. Just be like, I want to get on the phone with you. I would love to just call you. Are you available tonight? Give them two different options and be like, what's your number? They're like, no big deal.
Mm-hmm. I think I saw your video, but is there a title or something?
I'll put it in our groups so that you guys can all watch it if you need to. But that's what I usually do now. I think it's so great. It takes the pressure off me, and it also already explains the business, and I don't even have to get on the phone right away. So if they're interested after that and they have more questions, that's when I get them on the phone.
Okay. So when do you follow up?
Like if I talk to them about the business?
Yeah, if you send them the video, you give them a couple hours to watch it, a day.
I ask them, when are you going to be able to watch it?
Okay.
I need to know, and these are the things that you guys need to know too. But even with customers, it's the same thing. If somebody says, well, I'll think about it, or I'll get back to you, there's no reason why you don't need to, why you can't be like, well, how about next Friday? Can I follow up with you next Friday? And they say, oh, sure, of course. So that you have a next date where you're going to talk to them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. But that's when I ask them if they want to do the video, if they want to watch it, I'll say, before I even send the video, I'm like, when do you think that you'll be able to watch it? And you're like, tonight. I'm like, all right, how about I message you at 9, and then we can talk a little bit more about your questions if you have any. They're like, okay.
Cool.
Does anybody else have any other questions? Every situation is going to be different. You're going to have people, and I know, Doral, I know that you posted on the group and you said that you had somebody that was in network marketing before. There's going to be situations for every person. And you just have to do your best into figuring out what their goals are, what their lifestyle is, and being able to use how we get paid and put it into their lifestyle. If they're busy and they're always like around people and talking to people and they're excited and they're fun, talk to them about blitzing, giving out coupons. You know, talk to them and be like, oh my gosh, like anybody that you're around, give this coupon to them. And they'll be like, oh, okay. So, you know, just talk to them about that. You know, if you're out with the kids, you know, have the kids help you with giving out a coupon to anybody that you guys talk to throughout the day, or helping them see how this business can be easy for them. If they're always on social media, like if I was talking to Alyssa about the business, which I obviously already did, but if I was like, oh my gosh, Alyssa, you're always on social media, like you would seriously rock this thing, like it would be amazing. And then I would just be like, oh my gosh, like you just could talk to so many people and you really take advantage of this social media to your lifestyle. And just showing them how their lifestyle can really help them. Not, what's the other word? Encourage them, not, you know what I mean. I don't know the word I'm looking for though. All right, so if you guys don't have any questions, did this help? You guys can, if you have something to say, please unmute yourself and let's.
Yes, it does help.
Okay. What do you think it helps you with, Mom?
Well, there's some things that I don't say, or because I'm really good at talking to people, but I don't say enough. Like, I'm trying to see what I wrote down here. Let me read it. Hold on. Like I probably don't say there's other ways to make extra cash. I don't say that. I don't.
Okay.
Which I should. I know now too. I mean, I should. I just haven't. I don't know. But the scale from 1 to 10 I have used before, but not very often. But I have used it before. So,
okay. So consistency. Yeah. So just making sure that you're starting to do these things, every time that you're talking about the business, so that you can start getting used to it. It just comes second nature at this point. But you guys do have to know that when you are talking to them about the business, some people will take advantage of one way more than the other about how to make extra income. They might be so excited about building their business with social media and loyal customers that they might not be as excited about selling wraps. So you have to just talk about all the ways so that they can really take advantage of being like, oh, wow, there's so many different ways of being able to make money with this business. And I think that so many people, I mean, you guys have heard all the story that Katie always talks about, how she always says that before she joined this business, she used to think that Sarah would just drive around offering wraps to people. There's wraps for sale, get your wraps. Like, she used to think that. We have our own little world. This is our little world, okay? But people outside of it works, they don't know. They don't know how we get paid. They don't know those things. So it's up to us to make sure that we help them understand the different ways that they can get paid. Now, you don't need to go into it like, please don't go into it and be like, you get 15% on this. And then when your team starts, like, don't do that. We get paid commissions, different percentages, wrap cash, and fast starts. And then once that you go, you know, get to a leadership bonus or leadership level, you start getting bonuses. That's all you gotta say. All right. Is there anything else? Any other questions? All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna I'll end this, and then Katie is having her Zoom for Power Hour, so hop on that. But thank you so much for coming on here, you guys. I know that the next few months are going to be really crazy, and so when you guys start learning these tips and these things about this business, that it's going to help you and your team. So I'm going to put this Zoom to YouTube, so that you guys can refer to it if you need to, and then also send your new distributors when they start talking about the business too. Okay, guys. Well, thank you. I will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.